You see what happens, Diddy? You see what happens when you try to be the star of your own game? I mean, it worked once before, but ultimately karma just comes back to bite you. Leave the spotlight to the more important names in the world, little man. Cause now it's Donkey's on the job, and he's gonna be on the prowl to save everybody, like he always does. Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to Donkey Kong 64. Previously, we started Jungle Japes and already acquired our second golden banana, as well as our first firearm, the coconut shooter. And now that we found Diddy's behind bars, we're not gonna have to find some way to save him. But before we do that, that's gonna be the main objective today, by the way, is to save Diddy. We saw this balloon last episode on the lower level of this, well, level. Now we can pop it with our coconut shooter. And those are worth 10 bananas each. So now you know that there's different values to all these bananas that we have to find that are going to be important to access that portal we saw last episode as well. But we'll keep that for later. This is Snide's HQ. Greetings. Snide's name, revenge is my game. Did you know K-Rool's been working on its Blastomatic machine and intends to destroy your island? I was the chief technician on the project, but that double-crossing lizard kicked me off his team because he didn't trust me. I'll try to help you stop K-Rool's machine, but you'll need to find me some of my original blueprints. I believe they were given to some of the king's toughest cronies, so be careful. For every blueprint you return, I'll give you one of those golden bananas K-Rool stole from your hoard. No blueprint, no banana. You never know, that might just buy you some valuable time. That's the deal, Kong. This isn't a game, Kong. Those blueprints are vital to us both, so please go and find some. As if we have enough stuff to collect already between these battle crowns, blueprints, or just the bananas. Now we have blueprints to deal with too. So Snide, there's an interesting detail about Snide. You never see the back of him, but there is a logo that's behind him that I believe goes or spelled as KKI. The KK obviously stands for King K. Rool, since he did mention he did used to work for the Reptilian King. But the I, no one really knows what that means. Maybe it's like Industries or something like that, or King K. Rool Inc. Maybe K. Rool was planning to run its own company one day, who knows. There's a everlasting mystery behind that. Let's see, where to go next? Oh yeah, hit the other switches. And as long as we're on the topic of details that are interesting about these side characters, Funky. Funky is very, very intriguing indeed. He used to be depicted in like surfer apparel in past games, but for some reason he got switched over to an army look, as we saw. It turns out that he's actually an ex-army pilot that happened in something called the Great Ape War. From what I gathered, that happened between Donkey Kong Country 3 and I think DK Land on the Game Boy or the Game Boy Advance, something along that line of handheld consoles. And Funky was in that war as a pilot known as the Brown Baron, because he was known for being the best pilot in said war. The reason why he does have a tail is that he lost his tail in the war to one of the reptiles. Yippee! Way to go, DK! Now that I'm free, I can help you by collecting red bananas! I'll just go away in the tag barrel until you need me. And just like that, we saved Diddy, but these gates haven't opened yet because we have to go and get that golden banana ourselves. Instead of climbing up there, I'll just make my way over to the 2-pad and then warp from there. Whoa! You lousy bee! You can try to sneak attack me, huh? I'll show you who's boss. Wait, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. So that bee over there is a Zigger. That's another long-time foe that's been in the DKC series. And it's once again making its venture here in the 3D aspect of Donkey Kong games. So Let's shoot that beaver too with the butt while I'm at it just cuz. Roll over there. Get to this 2-pad. And now we can see that this transparent red bananas, true to what Diddy just said, he'll be able to collect those bananas for us whenever we're able to play as him. But that's not going to be for a little while. There's still some stuff that we can't do with DK, so we'll keep rolling with the Bang Kong for the time being. As we got our third golden banana of the game. And now because of that, all the gates that we hit with those switches are now open. So there's even more of Jungle Japes that we can explore. And I exactly know where to go next. Not down there, is to go into this cave. Because I did see a yellow banana here. Right behind that 4-pad, and then we can keep going. So we saw that DK now has the coconut shooter. There's something really funny about that. In early screenshots, DK was actually shown holding a double-barreled shotgun. And Diddy even had his own weapon as well in early screenshots of this game too. You may think that was some random placeholder they had, that's probably it, until they decided something else later on, which is eventually how they came up with something like the coconut shooter. But they did actually wield real guns at one time. Keep in mind, this is the same company that did make games like Perfect Dark and GoldenEye 007, so they probably used those assets as like placeholders, like I mentioned before. If we go into Cranky, I want to search these trees if there's any more banana badges we can find with DK. I don't think so, but it never hurts to check. Roll into that beaver. And if you're not convinced about that whole cut gun thing, there's an unused graphic that does have an actual gun being shown. So it was actually real for a time, but I highly doubt they were going to save that for the final game. If they did, the age rate of this game would bump up so fast. It wouldn't be funny. And we finally found our way back to Cranky once again. I've prepared another of my potions, Donkey, and it's yours for just 3 coins. You won't get much farther without it, so I suggest you pay up. Man, stingy and greedy, isn't he? Well, that's Cranky for ya. Anyways, we got the Baboon Blast, the Barrel Perilous. You can now play the Barrel Blast courses. Find my pad with your ugly bug on it and press Z to launch yourself on your way. When you're in a barrel, press Z to fire yourself out. I'm not letting you have another of my potions yet. Come and see me on the next level. So that's how we know we got everything from Cranky as one specific Kong. But that doesn't apply to everyone else. They all have their own abilities that we can buy from Cranky. You're so lucky that the cutscene activated because I was gonna shoot that coconut right in your face. Oh, you're trying to gang up on me now, aren't you? Man, you beavers are really persistent today. They're usually not this aggressive, but then again, I could be just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's like the second time it's happened this series so far. So the reason why I wanted to open this gate is that there's a specific crater here. Also, Banana Medal, our first one of the game too, since we have 75 in our possession now. Be a lot more of those we'll need if we want to get whatever Cranky's hiding though. To return to BDK, press and hold Z, and C left, press and hold Z, and then B to charge attack. And now with that crate, we can transform into Rambi, another returning animal buddy from the DKC series on the Super Nintendo. Now making its official debut on the 3D scale at this point in the franchise. The good thing is we can turn back to DK whenever we want, so we can stay as Rambi for as long as our heart desires. But we cannot collect any bananas in an animal transformation though. That's a really small drawback about that, but I don't care. We get to play as a rhino. This is pretty badass. We get to blow through anything in our sight, but we can't go everywhere as Rambi, however. There are certain zones that will transform us back into DK automatically if we do travel too far or in a wrong quadrant of the level. My god, these beavers, I swear! They keep sneak attacking me when I don't expect it. Those rodents are a lot smarter than I give them credit for. So I wasn't exactly done with beating Rambi quite yet. I'm actually surprised that I couldn't go into the area that I did have to be forced to transform back into Donkey. I want to go here. And this is the charge attack that we need to use. To ram down that wall. It's the only instance you'll ever need to use it actually. And now we can transform back as a DK. So we can't use that for anything else now. Unless we want to mow down more enemies, but there's only so much we can do with just mowing down enemies. They always respawn, so there's no point doing that. That blue sparkle contains something that we can't capture yet, so keep this in mind for later. Given that this is a collectathon game, there will be instances that we have to backtrack and collect stuff at a later time. It's just how these games work. I think that might be everything. No, wait, there's that banana batch I remember with DK that we can't get right now, so we'll go into that and see where that unlocks. Kick that rabbit out of the way before it sneak attacks me again. Be sure to get the one up on those. What, did I call that a rabbit? I meant a beaver. I don't know where the word rabbit came from to me. I swear, I can tell the difference between beavers and rabbits. I'm not that uncultured when it comes to like knowing what animals are. So we saw that there's a golden banana that's between the first two paths that we did come across. So we'll warp there with a 4-pad, and it's just straight ahead. Not too hard to take care of. Kreki was also part of that great ape war I mentioned earlier on, so we get our 4th golden banana. As a top commander of a faction called the Primate Alliance, they were going up against the Croc army in that war. The reason why Kreki is so like has a huge hunchback and has to use a walking staff is because of the injuries he did suffer during that war. So there is a reason why Kreki is the way he is now, not just because old age got to him. And now we found this pad that we were able to get with Kreki's potion. Why'd you need a potion to use a pad? I don't really know, but this game is not that normal. After all, you're playing as Donkey Kong. That's about as normal as it gets. So we now have our first barrel course of the game. You can actually use the A button to fire yourself from barrel to barrel, not just the Z button that Kreki mentioned, but we did get his potion for this. And the rest of these bananas should be in this course as well, at least for DK. It is our 5th golden banana of the game, 4 with DK. The only one we haven't got yet, I believe, would be Donkey's blueprint. I'm not sure where that is yet. That might be in an area that we can't get to, actually. Let's check in here first. Nope, I was incorrect. We can actually find the blueprint here. This is a Kasplat. This is the enemy that does contain the blueprints that we can get for Snide. They're really easy to take out if you just abuse the melee attack while they're on their butt trying to recover. For whatever reason, if you just keep spamming that when you knock them on their butt and they're trying to get back up, then they will die shortly after they do get back on their feet. Don't ask why, but that's a little exploit that you can use to deal with those Kasplats very easily. They can unleash a shockwave attack. Ugh, words, how they work. They can unleash a shockwave attack regardless of your proximity towards them, so be wary of that. But if you get close enough and just spam the melee attack, they're easy to deal with. That's what we need, Kong. Another golden banana for you. And because we got a blueprint first night, we get to see a fancy little animation. It's a lot more of these contraptions that he has in his HQ, I'll tell you that much. But true to his word, we do get a golden banana as a reward for getting its blueprint to him. You get a lot more of these than that to have Snyder really help us out in the long run. Basically means a blueprint is a free golden banana. That's essentially what we're getting from here. Now there's only 10 more bananas I know I can get with DK. I'm not sure where though. I have an idea, but I might be wrong on that. We're gonna go see if that idea is right. Also, there's fall damage in this game too. But no matter how hard how hard, no, how high you fall from a height, you only lose 1/4 of your health. So fall damage isn't that much of a hazard to look out for in this game, because it always results in the same amount of damage that you take, no matter how high that you do fall from. That's one banana badge? Where's the other one then? Like I said, it might be in a closed area that we can't get to yet. I don't know where that last badge is. By now, I would have gotten everything we can get as DK. Let's check over here first. This is the area where we just got our blueprint with as Donkey, so there might be a trail here perhaps? Not seeing anything so far. There's another Kasplat over there, we can't do anything about that yet. The only candidate I can think of is that the blueprint, not the blueprint, the last ring bananas might be behind that gate over there, but we can't get to it yet. That's something we'll have to come back for later as a result of backtracking. So unless I can instantly remember where that last group of bananas are, I guess we'll switch over to Diddy and see what he could do. But I think we're gonna do that next time. I know DK just took over this entire episode, but it's actually for the best. Swapping between Kongs is gonna be something that we'll have to do more often throughout the game. For the time being, we're just gonna have DK be the star of this episode. But next time, he'll have to share the spotlight whatever he likes it or not. As for now, we'll be playing as his nephew Diddy Kong and see what we can find with him in Jungle Japes. Until we meet again, farewell for now.